God is launching disciple-making movements through us now on many continents in many people groups.
For security reasons, we don't want to use names,
specific locations, or pictures of those directly involved.
but you will hear their stories.
A young Iranian man called David came to me who
He was filled with bitterness and resentment against nearly everyone he knew. In our first conversation, I shared with him on forgiveness and his need to forgive those that wronged him if he wants God to forgive him.
He left that first conversation, I thought, I don't know if I will ever see him again.
One of the greatest revelations for me was to trust the Holy Spirit, that he was at work in the new believer. During our second meeting, our conversation went basically the same way, covering bitterness and forgiveness. After a while, he asked me if I can help him. Now, when a refugee that has been living for more than 9 years on the street asks you such a question, you don't just say yes, because you never know what he might ask, because he can ask you for something that you cannot help with. So I asked him, what is it that he wanted help
with? He replied that he wanted God in his life. Well, I told him, that is easy. You just need to talk to God and tell him what you want. He said, how do I need to do that? I said, well,
just ask him. Imagine that God is sitting here on the chair and you start telling him what you want just as if you're talking to me. David started by saying, God, I forgive Minister Verdonk. The minister responsible for refugees, basically for his situation. I forgive the police, immigration officials, and he went on and on with his list, which was quite long. And then he said, God, please come into my life. I've been asked to share on some keys that I found in the disciple-making movement among Iranians. Keep things simple so that they can easily copy it and also go and do it and teach it to others. Another aspect is showing trust and belief and confidence in them and backing them in taking the lead. Another is that everyone can share and participate and therefore help determine what will be done. 2 days later, David came to the house church for the first time. This house church was made up
of Iranians who were ex-communists with the Mujahideen in the past or spied for the government. One was a criminal who spent
18 years in different kinds of jail. 2 of them had been tortured in the most notorious jails of Iran and had become a little bit psychologically imbalanced. David asked me, might I also share something with the group? I knew David only 1 week and had 2 meetings with him, which were, needless to say, a little bit stormy. And I wondered, what is he going to say? What if he says something that causes chaos in the group? As I was thinking about this,
if I can allow him, that is a new believer, to share in this group, the Holy Spirit told me to trust that whatever David said, I, with his help, can correct. I just need to trust him that now lives in David.
I just need to trust him that now lives in David. And I told David to proceed. David started, if you want God to forgive you,
you need to forgive Minister Verdonk, the police. And on he went with his...
And he went on with his list. David had authority to say that. I could not tell these guys all these kind of things because I had not been living on the street like him. But he really spoke directly to their hearts. The little bit that he had learned about forgiveness, David passed on. He did not just learn and keep it for himself, but wanted to share it also with others.
And I learned to trust the Holy Spirit.